Hey everybody, it's Deborah from Flipping 50. I've got a special surprise for you today. So in our members only exclusive interview series, today I have live with me on the set, Leanne Ely of Saving Dinner.
Woo!
And you look so gorgeous.
Oh, you always look gorgeous, honey. Thank you.
So, and we are in Christmas
Somewhat.
colors, but
We're in the mode.
we're totally in the mode.
Yes.
So I brought Leanne here because, first of all, she's one of us. She is 60.
I flipped 50 completely.
She totally did that.
I am 60 years old, yes.
And she is of Saving Dinner, which we're going to talk a little bit more about that and the importance of cooking for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
Something I could use a little help with.
You got
And you've had some health issues, which
have,
you
yes.
know nobody would believe by seeing her today.
Yeah.
However, let's talk about the whole thing and the whole story. So where Saving Dinner started, when did it come into play that you were sick? Hashimoto's.
Hashimoto's,
to be
really
specific.
horrible Hashimoto's with antibodies in the thousands. So it was pretty crazy. Well, I mean, I started Saving Dinner as just sort of I was a freelance writer at the time, and I wrote about food. I won some cooking contests. I did a bunch of stuff. I was just always interested in food, and I ended up getting a book contract, got on QVC. I did a bunch of all these things on the side while I was this freelance writer.
And let me step in here because today, hearing somebody say that is not all that unusual, but you were doing this way ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah, there was nobody out there.
You were the curve.
I was the curve, and as a matter of fact, when I started Saving Dinner, I mean it's a subscription-based business, right? That people subscribe and get their menus, and we do different kinds of cooking styles: paleo, AIP, classic family, low carb, whatever, keto, whatever it is that they're looking for. That's what we do. But back then, we were it. I invented menu planning and a subscription business, and we are 19 years old as of this month.
Wow.
Yes,
That's
I know. It's like
cool.
I have a grown child, so legal.
So awesome. So you've perfected it. You've worked out all the kinks.
Oh, kinks. Yeah, there were kinks, and did a software program so that everything that could be very intuitive for the users, so they can. I mean, let's just talk about it. Food is a very subjective thing.
Yeah.
What you like, I might not like, and you have your reasons why or whatever, and that doesn't mean you're wrong, I'm right, or whatever. But, we all have our things. Sometimes people see something on a menu and just go, I hate blah, blah, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
So that they have the opportunity to go into my database of thousands of recipes and change it out for something that they do like.
Wow.
Get the customized, grocery list, the whole bit. So we developed a very, intricate software program to go with what we were doing for years and years.
So I'm trying to think about 19 years ago. Okay, where was I with interacting with, the internet and all of those things? So you've really gone through a lot of changes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, this is, nowadays we have softwares that do everything.
Right.
I mean, if you have a membership site, you can get a plug-in to WordPress that has your member press and has all these things, and and then add more plugins, and it does everything but the dishes. But back then, it was like I foolishly sent from my personal email and got shut down. And this is AOL. AOL shut me down. It was hilarious. And then I learned that you need to have an email thing. So I had figured that out. And there's nobody out there telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I just figured it out. So I used back then they had Yahoo groups. Yeah. So I used a Yahoo group to deliver my stuff. I mean, it was just I cobbled the whole thing together without really much of an idea of what I was doing. I just knew I need to create these recipes every week, and I figured out my plan. I figured out how to create a recipe, because believe it or not, there are ways to create recipes and ways not to. And people think, oh, it's just whatever. It's not. There's an actual art and science to it. And the whole thing was just was a big discovery. It was constant discovery. And so when the whole world started to catch up and people started to do, then all of a sudden I just felt like stupid. I didn't know how to do any of these things. I was just like, I took PayPal. That's all I did. I mean, I just, buy a menu from me. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, I had a big, huge learning curve ahead of me. So as OG as I might be in that I, was able to figure all this stuff out, I then found myself in the place of being just like starting over, like.
Okay,
there's so
and
much to
I
do.
love that time frame. So you're 60 now, so 19 years ago you were about 41.
Yeah.
Starting a brand new business that you knew nothing about. So
Right.
tiniest bit of stress potentially.
Hello. Have we met? Yeah, you could say I was a little bit of a basket case. I mean, it was a lot. So when I really the timetable was I launched Saving Dinner. At the time it was menumailer.net is what we used, because I used to email those menus all the time. Now it's, you don't do that anymore. Now it's just people shut their menus down. They have to log into the site to do it. Spam filters would not tolerate what I said, the amount of information I send.
Oh, yeah.
Send out every week. But so what was I saying?
The stress.
The stress was
that.
pretty unbelievable, because right then too I was I saw this audition for a radio show in Southern California. Now remember, I was living in North Carolina, and I was living in North Carolina and homeschooling my kids, and they were young, and and I was doing all this freelance work, constant, and just like I had all these balls up in the air.
Yeah.
And
Female. She was female. Okay.
yeah, you know how that is. And then I went on QVC, and that went well, and it was really exciting. And then they called me back, and then they called me back.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and then I was doing this, I did a couple of series on TVs, and I was a regular on a show at the Asheville, North Carolina area. And then I thought, well, why not audition for this radio show? So I did, and I got it. And so here we are packing the entire house to move to Southern California, and we were a little house on the prairie in this little, we had this 1800s farmhouse that was my big big DUI kind of do it yourself what is that? DYP? Do it yourself project?
DIY.
DIY, whatever.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. If you've ever stripped wallpaper, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that was a project in itself. We had goats, we had chickens, and we had like 8 million cats, and a dog, of course, 2 dogs. So here we are, this big thing. You're packing it up, moving across country to come to Southern California in Orange County in the Newport Beach area. And my kids, their eyes are as big as saucers, like, what is this? Because we lived in Podunk, North Carolina.
Yeah.
In this little small community with
Culture shock.
yeah, completely. Even though they were born, that's where we started originally. They were born there. It was quite something. So stress was huge. I had a drive radio show from 2 to 3 every single day, Monday through Friday. I would work in the early morning. I would take care of the kids, do whatever I could, and fortunately they're a little bit older, and I'd assign them stuff. Leave the house like at 11, prepare my show, get on the radio at 2, finish at 3, stay for another hour, come home, start dinner, do all the things, and then get back to work.
Wow.
And it's funny, because now I look back and I think, how the heck did that ever happen? But it's just like, I just did it,
Yeah.
I just did it. I didn't have a dream planner. I didn't have, I didn't
Right.
have all the goodies.
And when you can't fail, sometimes that's when the best
Oh.
things happen.
And I
It's
was the
just like,
breadwinner,
there's
too.
no alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so when did the Hashimoto's come into play, though?
So that's interesting. So my husband and I was not a good marriage, and finally things came to a head, and we split up. After we split up, I started getting panic attacks.